Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this morning's story and craft. I'm Miss Emily, and today the book we're going to be reading is called A Color of His Own by Leo Leone. And this book is about a chameleon who wants a color of his own. So after we read the book, stay tuned because then I'm going to show you guys how to make this fun chameleon craft. Okay? So let's get started. Let's first read A Color of His Own by Leo Leone. Parrots are green. Goldfish are red. Elephants are gray. Pigs are pink. All animals have a color of their own, except for chameleons. They change color wherever they go. On lemons, they are yellow. In the heather, they are purple. And on the tiger, they are striped like tigers. One day, a chameleon was sitting on a tiger's tail and said to himself, "If I remain on a leaf, I shall be green forever, and so I too will have a color of my own." With this thought, he cheerfully climbed onto the greenest leaf. But in autumn, the leaf turned yellow, and so did the chameleon. Later, the leaf turned red, and the chameleon too turned red. And then the winter winds blew the leaf from the branch, and with it, the chameleon. The chameleon was black in the long winter night. But when spring came, he walked out into the green grass, and there he met another chameleon. He told his sad story. "Won't we ever have a color of our own?" he asked. Oh no. There we go. "I'm afraid not," said the other chameleon, who was older and wiser. "But," he added, "why don't we stay together? We will still change color wherever we go, but you and I will always be alike." And so they remained side by side. They were green together, and purple, and yellow, and red with white polka dots. And they lived happily ever after. The end. How fun. Have you guys ever seen videos or maybe seen a chameleon in real life change colors? It's pretty neat to watch. So today I'm going to show you guys how to make a chameleon. My chameleon that I'm going to make is going to be green, but you guys can make it any color you want. You can make it rainbow colors, you can make it red, yellow, purple, like the chameleon that we saw in the book. But for today, I'm going to just do green, okay? So I'm going to tilt the camera down. There we go. Let me actually do that. There we go. Okay. So for our craft today, you're going to need some paper. If you make a green chameleon, you're going to need some green paper, some red paper, and some white paper. Okay, so we have that. We're going to need a black marker, a pair of scissors, a glue stick, a pencil, or you can use your black marker, I'll show you, a straw, and if you would like, a green or some other kind of color markers. So the first thing you're going to do is make the body of the chameleon. So I'm going to take this piece of paper. I'm going to take my full piece of paper. There we go. You guys can see it that way. And I was using this plate to cut out a circle. And if you guys really wanted, you could probably use a paper plate. But this is one of the things that I use my pencil for. I'm just going to trace around this plate to get my circle. So there's one circle. And then for his tail, I need a smaller circle. You can see, here's where I cut out the tail from the one I already have. For that circle, I used a glass. So you guys can trace something if you want to make your circle, or if you're good at cutting out a circle, you can just go ahead and cut it out. But we're going to real quick cut out these circles. Almost there. Make sure you have your grown-ups' permission and help to use your scissors. You only want to cut paper. Scissors can be very sharp. There we go. So there's one. And I'm going to do the big one. All right. Takes a little bit to cut, but you guys can do it. Almost there. Oops. And done. All right. So now that we have our two circles, oops, we're going to take our big circle and we're going to fold it in half. Give it a good sharp crease, and then we're going to open it back up. Now here's where we're going to need our glue stick and our straw. And actually, before we glue anything, we're going to take our red paper and we're going to cut a strip off on the short ways, not the long ways. Oops, you guys can see that. Not the long ways, we're going to cut it off the short ways. So maybe about 1 inch wide. You guys can measure if you want, or if you just want to kind of guess. About 1 inch. And we're just going to do one straight line across the paper. All right. So that's going to be his tongue. Okay, so now we come back to our half circle. There we go. Try to make it so you guys can see it. And we're going to take our glue stick. And we need to put glue all over this 1/2 of the circle. So I'm going to do it all over this half. Get some glue on there. There we go. And so now what I'm going to do, make sure I have some along there, and I'm actually going to put a little bit on the other side too, just to make sure it sticks around the straw. Because what we're going to do is we're going to take the straw and we're going to lay it in the middle, right on that crease. And then we're going to take our tongue and we're just going to put a little fold in it just in the top part of it here. Okay, so you see how I have a little fold in it? And I left the rest of it flat. So on that little fold, we're going to take it and we're going to tuck it around the straw. So can you guys see? I have it kind of underneath the straw a little bit. I'm gonna fold it down, and then I'm gonna fold the whole half up and press it down. Make sure that that straw and that tongue, oops, there we go, are in there. So you kind of see. So actually it's kind of like a big green taco at the moment. And you want to make sure you have a little bit of straw hanging out of the back. And I'll show you guys what that straw is for. This chameleon is going to have a surprise. Okay, so there's the body of our chameleon. I'm going to put him up here. And I'm going to take our tail. This little circle is going to be the tail. And I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to draw a spiral inside the circle. You can make it as big or as small as you want. And then we're going to take our scissors again carefully and we're just going to cut along that spiral. And this is what's going to give us that curly tail. So just be real careful. Take your time. No need to rush. But you can see already how my paper is making a fun spiral. A little bit more. This guy's gonna have a really curly tail. Oh my goodness. All right, and done. And you don't want to cut all the way. So then that way you have his little end here. So I'm gonna, let's see, I want it to go this way. So I'm gonna take my body. Here we go. I'm going to take my glue again. I'm going to put some glue at this end. And then I'm going to take my chameleon tail and I'm going to glue it down. So now that's going to stay there. And now he's got his curly tail. Actually, I may glue that piece down too. There we go. So there's his tail. So now we have our body and the tail. So let's go ahead and decorate him now. He's ready for some decorations. So for his eyeballs, I just used a piece of white paper. You could see here's his other two eyeballs from before. And I used my glue stick to just trace some circles. Oops. There we go. They don't have to be perfect. There we go. All right, again, I'm going to carefully cut them out. Let's do this where you can see it. I keep forgetting where my camera is. Do a quick circle. Oh no. Let's go from this side. And there's one. There's one. And then we're going to cut out the other one just the same way. And again, make sure you're being really careful. You don't want to accidentally cut your fingers. That would hurt. There we go. All right. So now we have our two eyeballs. And this is where the marker comes in, or the black pen. I'm going to make, oops, the pupils of his eyes. So there's one, and there's two. So there's two eyeballs. So now we're going to take our chameleon, and use our glue stick one more time, and we're going to glue the eyeballs onto our chameleon. So we're going to put one on this side. And I'm going to have the eyeballs looking the same way, but if you guys have ever seen a chameleon, either on a video or in real life, chameleons are neat because they can move each eye independently of each other. So one eye can look one direction and the other eye can look a totally different direction. So for example, right now this guy's eye is facing forward. His other eye might be looking up. This is a really, really neat thing about chameleons, besides the fact that they can change color. But for now, I think I want both eyes looking forward, because I think he sees a tasty bug he's going to eat. And if you want, you can hold it sideways to kind of line. Let's see if I do it. There, you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm lining up my two eyeballs because I like them to be even. You guys don't have to. But now, see, I have them here and here. So there's my eyeballs. Now I am done with my glue stick. Now I'm going to take my marker again and I'm going to make the chameleon's mouth. And I think this guy's going to have a pretty big smile. There we go. So there's his smile. And I'm going to put a line here for his head. And then I'm going to flip him over and do the same thing. Let's see. Give him his big smile. Because I think we make happy chameleons. But I guess you could make a grumpy chameleon if you wanted, or a sad chameleon. That's the thing about crafts like this. You can make them however you like. And then, again, a line for his head. And the other thing I did on my first chameleon was I gave him some stripes. If you look up pictures of chameleons, they tend to have a little bit of stripiness to them. So because I made a green chameleon, I want his little stripes to be green. So I have my green marker, and I'm just going to draw like some triangle shapes, kind of like curved triangles. And like that. And then usually I'd color them in. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I just lifted it up so I could line up my stripes. There we go. You could also, if you wanted, maybe give him a couple little like freckles in here. See, I'm giving him some freckles. You can get so creative. And like I did for my first guy, I colored these in. I'm not going to color all of these in right now because it'll take too long, but I'm just going to show you how I just colored them in to get my chameleon. So then, once you're done decorating your chameleon and giving him all of his details, there we go. One last thing you do to this guy, and then I'll show you the surprise. This chameleon, like I said, has a special trick that he can do. You can take your pen or your pencil, and you're going to roll the chameleon's tongue around the pencil. And you want to make sure that you're rolling underneath, okay? You don't want to roll up so that it's rolling up on top of the tongue. Let's see if I do it this way, you can see. You don't want to roll it so that it's going on top. You want to put the paper on the pencil, and then you want to roll it up and wrap it around so that the pencil is going underneath the tongue. And we're going to roll it, kind of want to roll it as tight as you can. I'm going to do like this. There we go. So you see, I'm just rolling the pencil and rolling the paper with it. And I'm going to roll right up as far as I can go. Okay. And now, if I slide my pencil out, he's got a rolled up tongue. But the neat thing that I can do now, I'm going to bring this back up here so you can see me. Hello. There we go. I want to back up a little bit. Now the surprise with this chameleon, I'm going to do this guy since he's decorated on this side, is that little bit of straw that we left hanging out. If you blow gently into that straw, the chameleon undoes his tongue, like he's reaching for a bug. What do you think? Do you think he caught a bug? So every once in a while, you might have to roll up the piece of paper again just to make it work. But is our chameleon friends. And it'd be really neat if you guys made like a purple one and an orange one. That would be so much fun. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you have fun with your chameleons. And I will see you guys again soon. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye. Bye.